popping out of a hole in the ground. That's awesome. Alrighty, going down. Yeah, some heavy ass rope. Thick as hell. Off rope! Numbers, they were probably like around here in the 50s. That was a mistake. Just kidding.
Who's behind me? Is that Sean back there?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
So it's purely the soil temperature,
Which tends to be above the average air temperature.
How long are your cave trips though?
Anywhere between 2 and 12 hours.
And you don't want a snack or like a coffee or? Coffee. Bring your stove with you. Yep. I think I went the wrong way, guys. 1 second. Bringing my pack was a huge mistake, but I'm making it. Wow, literally popping out of a hole in the ground. That's awesome. Alright, I guess I'm leaving it here. Hey, Aaron. Keen Appeal fan, eh? Whew. Someone's been reading too much Dune. That's why I took all that stuff off. I jumping across or coming around here?
I kind of stepped out on that further rock and just like stepped over to this.
I was about to like die hard jump it.
Exactly. I don't think.
You gonna catch me?
Yeah. I'm just gonna make sure you don't fall down.
I know. I'm just.
Go. Yeah, it's down that way. Up in that choke out to get a look up in that.
Alrighty.
Loose and dodgy, really.
You said there's a T.
Yeah, just keep on going along. It's like a sort of it's like a low, very stoopy passage, and then you get to a T junction.
Do you make a left or what?
Both ways choke out really quickly. So just have an explore.
Okay. Okay.
I'm having a vibe right here.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with you.
No, you're good. I'll be back. I'll whoop. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. That was cool. That was worth it. Those bats are cute.
Oh yeah, they are. And I don't hang around them too long. Just don't think like. Actually, it's summer, so they're not hibernating. But yeah, like we see them in winter. It's just like stay away from them. Don't shine lights in their eyes. They can only wake up twice during the winter, and if they wake up more than twice, they don't have the energy because every time they wake up, they have to like fully reboot their system. It takes a lot of energy. So if they woke up more than that, basically they'll get to summertime and they will
They'll
have the
starve,
energy.
yeah.
They just don't have the energy to fly anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta be careful around them in winter.
So,
You wanna
me
go
first?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's easy enough, fine, but disastrous fall.
part I was kind of stemming. There's not much to grab.
Learning the art of thrutching.
Thrutching?
Thrutching, yeah. Where you've got no holes, but you've got loads of friction.
Exactly. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, lines.
Yeah, you sure about that?
Yeah, boy. I didn't crush anyone.
Or that you know of.
Well, they probably would have screamed. That's the logic I usually go on. And this was the whole idea. I'll go down first, I'll scream frequently. Smell that?
Smells like. Oh.
That is the offending party. That would have hurt.
That's the one that fell here?
Yeah, that's it. You can tell because all the smash lines around it.
Damn, yeah.
So
Why does it smell like Fritos or something? It smells like chips.
Yeah, that's just what limestone smells like when you smell. Yeah, so if you take a lump hammer and break up any limestone, that's what it'll smell like.
Interesting. It's making me hungry. Well, thank God no one was here.
Yeah, we can't really get Fritos back, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're fine, man. You can just slide back on me, actually. You can slide back on me, I got you.
You gotta be pure.
Okay, no help, no assistance.
Ah, yeah, mate, that's what makes it a first ascent.
There you go.
Decent.
FD.
That's the next level in bouldering.
Oh, Pat coming down. Whew.